Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining our Crypto.com live AMA today. My name is Imana Bahadia, and today I'll be speaking with Timothea Horwell, the co-founder and CMO at Orion. Orion Protocol was designed to aggregate the liquidity of multiple crypto exchanges into one decentralized platform. Orion is building the gateway to the entire crypto market in one terminal. Today, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Timothea Horwell.
Hey guys.
Hi, Timothea. Hi, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Would you mind starting off with an introduction of yourself?
Yes, of course. So I'm Timothea, thank you for the introduction, and I'm CMO of Orion Protocol. And I've spent the last decade or so across the mobile data and payment space, whether startup to global conglomerate, either building business strategies at incubators through to head of research and marketing within Telefonica. And it was actually at Telefonica when we were looking at blockchain as a solution to the opacity of the ad tech landscape from 2017 or so, that I attended a blockchain conference in Miami and met the Orion team and have been with them since 2019. So I was really just blown away by the concept at the time that what they were building had the potential to revolutionize trading by creating this single point of access to the entire crypto market.
Oh, very cool. So the Orion Terminal will aggregate every centralized, decentralized exchange and swap pool into one decentralized platform. How and what benefits will this bring to the Orion platform?
Well, really in working towards aggregating every centralized exchange, decentralized exchange, and swap pool, the major benefits are for the end user. So in doing so, we're helping traders save three of arguably their most important things: their time, their money, and their assets. So traders don't need to waste time exchange hopping. They'll be able to access major sources of liquidity in one place. And eventually this will encompass the entire crypto market. Traders, don't need to worry about trying to find the best price on different exchanges for their assets, because by aggregating the order books of these exchanges, we source the best price across market with almost zero spread and zero slippage. And orders can be filled across multiple exchanges, both centralized and decentralized, for the end user to get the best possible price for their trade. But most critically, traders don't need to risk their assets in order to access liquidity. They simply connect their wallet and execute their order across the exchange with the best price, centralized or decentralized, without the need to have an exchange account. So we are essentially allowing traders access to the entire crypto market without ever needing to give up, share, or compromise their private keys, their assets, or their information.
Interesting. So what is the competitive advantage of your project? Could you point out the strengths of your project that other projects don't have, that would attract investors to Orion?
Yeah, I'll just reel these out bullet points. So firstly, the only decentralized access to the main source of liquidity in market, centralized liquidity, best prices in market, often split across multiple exchanges, cross-exchange arbitrage opportunities, zero spread and zero slippage, trading directly from your wallet without any account or KYC. We never halt trading, even when centralized exchanges shut down recently. We still provided access to their order books on Orion. We're building 18 revenue streams for incredibly profitable staking. And finally, critically, building the first decentralized point of access to the crypto market.
And how does Orion combine decentralized and centralized advantages in the easiest way?
So from inception in 2018, we were initially built out of the need for an intermediary solution that really bridged the gap between decentralized and centralized parts of crypto. And at the time, 95% of liquidity was held on centralized exchanges, which obviously forces traders to trust large monopolized entities with their assets in order to trade. So DEXs have obviously, in particular swap pools, have arisen to provide traders with access to liquidity while retaining ownership of their assets. But Naturally, these aren't without issues because liquidity is often still insufficient, which results in high spread and slippage. And then there's issues of front running, poor user experience. So we're building on decentralized technology in critical parts of the system, like custody and settlement, while tapping into the major sources of liquidity, centralized exchanges. So this really is an industry first. Dex and swap pool aggregators already existed, as do custodial aggregators for centralized exchanges. But this, through our proprietary governance mechanism, we are the only platform that provides global and decentralized access to centralized liquidity sources like Binance, KuCoin, AscendX, and now Crypto.com as well, directly from users' wallets without the need for an account or KYC.
Amazing. And will the Crypto.com liquidity be available on the Orion Terminal in the near future, or are there any plans to cooperate?
Yes, so as I just touched on, really excited to announce today that the first step of the Orion Crypto.com partnership, Crypto.com will become a node validator or a broker within the Orion ecosystem. So what this means is that Crypto.com's liquidity, order book depth, and trading pairs will be available on Orion Terminal. So for users, this means decentralized access to Crypto.com directly from their wallet, and enabling them to trade using the liquidity of the fastest growing crypto app, regardless of their jurisdiction. For us, this further deepens our liquidity sources, tightens spread, increases volume, and is a huge milestone towards our goal of aggregating the entire market. And for Crypto.com, this enables you guys to participate in the world of DeFi, tapping into a growing user base of traders that are looking for decentralized alternatives. And rather than losing market share to decentralized exchanges, it's providing another point of access to your liquidity. So rather than having to build your own DEX, this enables you guys to move into DeFi seamlessly and really decentralize your liquidity without any additional effort, development, or costs.
Interesting. Does Crypto.com see benefits in becoming a power broker on the Orion Terminal?
Well, maybe you should answer this one, but
Which feels, I was going to say, feels more like a Crypto.com question. And
yeah.
I would assume yes.
Yes. I mean, so for us, the benefits are obvious. Obviously, this will enrich our ecosystem with increased liquidity for trading. But we would, as our goal is to aggregate the liquidity of every centralized exchange, decentralized exchange, and swap wallet market, the growth and development of any new or existing exchange only benefits our ecosystem. And as I said, this doesn't mean we're taking market share away from any entity like this, Crypto.com or otherwise, but providing another point of access to your liquidity. So this is a mutually beneficial relationship. We are providing another point of access in a non-custodial way, which I feel like is particularly fruitful for centralized exchanges wanting to transcend into the DeFi space and monetize idle assets and offer a decentralized solution to centralized order books. So we kind of have a phrase that we say at Orion that we don't compete, we complete. Really happy to be working with you guys to bridge that CeFi DeFi divide.
Awesome. Great answer on our behalf. Your website shows your governance mechanism as delegated proof of broker. With the recent release of Orion's broker software, I'm sure many are curious as to how the delegated proof of broker and decentralized brokerage work. Could you explain this in more detail?
Yeah, so I think it's important in order to understand the partnership fully. So it's important to understand the governance mechanism underpinning Orion, which makes all of this possible. And that is our proprietary staking mechanism, delegated proof of broker. So it's built using advantages of proof of stake, but with a number of key differences, namely that unlike traditional consensus mechanisms, new tokens are never minted to create rewards. Brokers and participants are rewarded via transaction fees from our various revenue streams. So this fulfills every function on the protocol via our decentralized brokerage with ORN at its core. And the decentralized brokerage is a network of third-party brokers or node validators chosen to carry out all of the transactions on the platform. So brokers with the exchange accounts, or in this case, exchanges themselves, run Orion broker software and automatically execute trades on a user's behalf, routed from our liquidity aggregator, and then receive a portion of fees from each trade that they execute. And then this fee is then shared with non-broker stakers who stake to vote with their broker based on the variable reward share offered. So this software also means that, regardless of exciting partnerships like this, we'll be able to tap into the liquidity of any exchange, centralized or otherwise, simply through our brokers or node validators having exchange accounts with them. So if someone watching this, providing they have sufficient liquidity on and across various exchanges, could become a broker and bring in new sources of liquidity to Orion. And that's really the beauty of this system, is that it's just infinitely scalable through users.
Interesting. Very interesting. Do Orion users need to complete KYC verification? I think you touched on this now, to use the liquidity from centralized exchanges in the Orion Terminal. And could you explain the process of aggregation of the centralized exchanges into Orion's decentralized platform?
So I did explain, but I'll kind of explain why users don't have to. So obviously we are a decentralized aggregator, so users don't have to complete KYC to trade, even if trading on centralized liquidity. I will also add that a lot of hybrid liquidity aggregators are coming to market, and they're promising access to centralized and decentralized liquidity sources in one place. But the reality is that any hybrid aggregator currently offering access to centralized liquidity still has a centralized element to that access. So you still need an account, or you still need to conduct KYC either on the platform or the exchange itself. So none are offering truly decentralized access except for us. So how this works is that brokers essentially who are routing the trades via their exchange accounts are fully KYC compliant on any of the exchanges that they're on. So they conduct KYC so that traders don't have to. And obviously it's through these brokers that we're able to decentralize this centralized liquidity.
Huh, interesting. And what are the key parts of technology underpinning the terminal?
So I touched on a few of these, but I would say they're kind of top 5, 6. Our liquidity aggregator, our decentralized brokerage, our order matching engine, smart contracts, and soon our Orion bridge. So top line, our liquidity aggregator just standardizes connectivity across centralized and decentralized exchanges to aggregate the liquidity, order book depth, and trading pairs of multiple exchanges into one order book. Then our decentralized brokerage, which we've touched on quite a lot, almost every transaction across the protocol acts as a trade being carried out by a broker via our decentralized brokerage. Then Orion order matching engine is built on the aggregated order books and basically ensures trades are executed at the best price by accessing the lowest asks and the highest bids across exchanges. So a smart search is used to discover the right exchange for the order, which is essentially the right combination of both price and liquidity. And as I said, orders can be split across multiple exchanges and brokers in order to find the best price. And smart contracts, our Orion broker network is deployed as smart contracts. So before execution, orders are stored privately in the matching engine, and critically, brokers never get access to traders' accounts or funds, as the smart contracts enforce secure condition of exchange. So only if the order is filled by a selected broker will the transfer of assets occur atomically within the smart contract. So the trader gives the sold asset from their wallet in exchange for the bought asset from an exchange. And so only when the order is fully settled by a broker is the transaction submitted to the blockchain. So you can't see any front running or anything like that. And then one that is upcoming, Orion Bridge. So this is a kind of key part of us being a chain agnostic aggregator. So this is our own internal cross-chain bridge that is completely unique in market, and that it uses our broker network to facilitate cross-chain trading in a decentralized peer-to-peer way. So it will really be the first bridge that enables access via brokers via these exchange accounts. So it'll essentially make atomic swaps work in practice, not only as a concept without delays, refused orders, blocked funds. And obviously the key area of this is that users don't lose ownership of their tokens until they receive the corresponding peg tokens on the other network. I personally have used other bridges recently that my funds were locked for 3 days, and that won't happen on Orion Bridge. So we're
no minimum
first
lockup period.
Yeah, exactly. So we're first going to be launching this on the Ethereum and between the Ethereum and BSC networks, and then as we bring in further chains, which we're going to be integrating, we'll be expanding Orion Bridge to those two. So we'll be releasing more info on this, but yeah, I'm pretty excited for this.
Very exciting. It's very cool. You did a great job actually explaining just how decentralized Orion is. This next question does actually want you to dig a little bit deeper. So it says, recently, all of us in the crypto space have discovered that Solana isn't 100% decentralized, and that the developers have turned off the blockchain. Since Orion's protocol's credo is built on 100% DeFi systems, I'd like to know if centralized blockchains will still be included in the protocol speak Orion Terminal, and does the demand of centralized blockchains override the 100% DeFi credo?
Okay, so while we are a DeFi project and that our primary aim is to provide decentralized access to the crypto market, I think decentralization often occurs on a spectrum, and very few projects are truly decentralized at this point, even if that is the end goal. The way I see it is it's not our place to keep access depending on how centralized or decentralized we determine an entity to be. That itself doesn't seem very decentralized, whether it's an exchange or a blockchain or an asset. What we are is a chain agnostic universal aggregator, and our goal ultimately is to provide global access to the entire crypto market in a secure, non-custodial and decentralized platform. And the end goal is enabling users to trade any asset on any exchange or any blockchain from anywhere in the world. And so we've got announced upcoming chain integrations of most major blockchains. And for us, this is about accessibility and it's about choice for the end user. So to actually answer his question, I don't see collaboration with centralized entities as undermining our decentralized ethos, because from my perspective, the path to true decentralized finance will only occur through collaboration, not just with other DeFi projects, because then DeFi will just be incredibly siloed, but with centralized entities that monopolize much of the market. And of course, centralized entities must adapt, as we're seeing, and DeFi projects have to coexist and help facilitate this growth for the overall sustainability of the industry.
Yeah, makes sense. What is the driving philosophy behind Orion's protocol, and does the Orion Hunter use to show the directions to lost ships in early days?
Someone mentioned Orion the Hunter before, and a couple of days ago, and I hadn't actually heard of it prior to that. Obviously, need to study up on my Greek mythology, but I quite like that reference. I'm not typically one for analogies, but I feel like it could be quite apt in that if you think about the industry as it stands, there's multiple streams or lakes of unconnected liquidity. But if someone is fishing in a boat in one stream, but there are bigger and better fish in another, they'd have to drag their boat out of the water, bear with me, and take it to this other lake, by which point the opportunity may no longer be there, and they may not even be able to access this other lake because of jurisdictional restrictions. So I guess Orion, in a way, is funneling these pools or streams of liquidity into one place that anyone can access, regardless of the jurisdiction, and really, for everyone to be able to capitalize on the opportunities available. And that's really the driving philosophy behind Orion, is global accessibility and participation.
Cool. I didn't know that. So thanks for that new bit of a fun fact. If the bear market comes and your token takes a hit, what plans do you guys have to be prepared for this upcoming bear market?
Well, so we see this question a lot. I'm sure other projects do too. I think it's, no offense to the question, no offense to the person asking the question, but I think it's indicative of a lot of short-termist mindsets in the space. I'm not going to comment on the market itself. I'm not going to comment on the price action of ORN. There are plenty of other people online who I'm sure are happy to do so. But what I will say is that we, alongside our partners, are building solutions to ensure the sustainability of the crypto landscape beyond daily, weekly, monthly market conditions. We are building industry-first technology that decentralizes the major source of liquidity in market for the first time. We're building a global portal to crypto with our ORN token at our core and playing an integral role in pretty much every action on the protocol. And also, trading doesn't hold in a bear market. Traders are perhaps more risk averse, but if anything, I think a bear market only really reinforces our value as a platform. Traders need one platform to access multiple exchanges, one platform that enables best price for their trades, one platform that won't limit their access during times of market volatility as others have, and they need one platform that will enable them access to the crypto market without compromising their funds. So, not worried about
it. In terms of staking, what's the minimum ORN that can be staked on your platform, and how long do you have to stake? Is it better to stake or is it better to hold?
So we currently have we have 3 phases of staking. We're currently in mainnet pre-staking. So this means that holders can stake or farm on Orion Terminal directly from their wallet. There's no minimum, there's no lockup period, and APR ranges from 13 to 60%. But what's next for us is the much anticipated in our community mainnet staking. So when this happens, rewards will be purely driven by protocol volume, and unlike other inflationary staking models, as I said, we're not rewarding holders by minting new tokens. ORN is supply capped at 100 million, though it won't reach that due to a number of methods we have to remove them from circulation. But essentially, when we launch mainnet staking rewards will be generated through protocol volume, and this isn't just volume from Orion Terminal, but also the volume from all of our other DeFi products currently in the box. So some of which will be generating revenue prior to staking launch. So I definitely stake.
Very cool. And how do ORN holders benefit from the Orion Business Solutions like the Liquidity Booster or the Dex Kit?
Okay, I'm glad someone asked this because, as I said, I think it's important to note that Orion is not just a trading terminal. While Orion Terminal has been our main focus and our flagship solution, it's just one solution. And as I said, we aren't here to compete, but we want to build a sustainable future of DeFi and decentralized trading. So we are making our liquidity available to other entities in the space. We've built over a dozen solutions for blockchains, exchanges, crypto projects, resulting in 18 revenue streams coming that will benefit ORN holders through mainnet staking. So essentially, clients for our Liquidity Boost plugin, our Dex Kit, our Launchpad Liquidity, our Wallet Swap SDK, and more will tap into the liquidity available via our liquidity aggregator and make this available to their users. So the reason why we built these solutions is because they're all about increasing our protocol volume. So every transaction on a partner exchange or platform using this liquidity will result in a transaction on the protocol met with regular fees and add to daily protocol volume. So as staking rewards are generated via transactions on the protocol, staking rewards will increase through B2B integrations. And at this point, we're kind of doing a chain link with the amount of partners that we have. We have 70 partners so far, and a big chunk of those are our clients for our B2B solutions. So, we want to partner with pretty much everyone in the space in some capacity. So to me, our B2B solutions will really be game changing in terms of driving volume and staking rewards for ORN holders.
Great, because you said once the mainnet launches, that's where the APR comes from.
Mainnet staking, yeah.
Mainnet staking, yes.
Yeah, mainnet's live, mainnet staking is next, yeah.
Got it. And can you provide an overview of Orion's tokenomics? Will the design of the token increase and decrease with the success of the platform? Does this include any scarce pathways such as equity, storage, or burning of the tokens?
Yeah, so as I said, ORN is our utility token. We've integrated it into all main transactions to take the form of an internal currency or utility. So obviously the success of Orion Terminal, as more people use Orion Terminal, the more ORN is being bought and sold. It's factored into pretty much every transaction on the terminal. So and because it is every transaction within the decentralized brokerage, that will be the same for every solution built on the liquidity aggregator. So we currently require ORN to be used as a fee for trading, but we will be enabling any asset to be used as a fee shortly. So when we do, traders will be able to, traders using ORN will receive a discount from trading. And then when ORN isn't used, a portion of the fee will be used to market buy ORN and remove it from circulation. Obviously, we have staking, which when we launch, currently there's no lockup, but when we launch mainnet staking, you'll be able to choose whether you want to lock it up have no lockup, lock it up for a week or a month, and obviously the rewards will increase depending on that. And also we have licensing fees for each of our DeFi products, so they'll be used to market buy ORN and permanently remove them from circulation. And so we don't use the B word here, we just permanently remove from circulation. And we also have other methods of permanent removal as well for our upcoming solutions that we haven't yet released. But yeah, I said our token is supply capped, and it's capped at 100 million, and we're making sure that it won't ever get to that due to a number of efforts to remove tokens from circulation.
Interesting. What do you believe is the biggest friction point for potential future users of Orion, and how are you working on overcoming this?
Well, this is a good question. I think the biggest friction point, not just for Orion, but for DeFi as a whole, is actually friction itself. I think crypto will have succeeded in market penetration when it becomes such a utility that hardly anyone realizes that they're using it, but we're not quite there yet as an industry overall, and I think DeFi is even further away from that. The learning curve of crypto is steep, and this is the largest barrier to mainstream adoption. Obviously, apps like Crypto.com have been so successful because they have focused on removing that friction, reducing the number of steps that an action takes. But DeFi is a little bit more convoluted still, and the ultimate goal that I think all of us share really is expanding our user base, but that has to be beyond the current pool of knowledgeable traders, because otherwise we're literally just fighting over the same people. Mm-hmm. So while we have built an intuitive interface for Orion, there's still an element of understanding that's expected in order to trade in DeFi. So to address this, on top of continually improving our UX with a V2 of our terminal, we are building a DeFi AI assistant called Bonsai on top of Orion Terminal, which I'm incredibly excited about. So this will simplify the process of buying, selling, sending, and receiving digital assets, and essentially allows orders to be made via voice or text command. So someone could say to Alexa, I want to send Timothea 10 BTC via Bonsai, and the action will be automatically executed. Obviously, you have to approve it, particularly something voice activated, but this will be automatically executed on their behalf via Orion's order books. So this is something that's pretty close to launch, and I'm really excited for this because I think we're excited for this to be able to bring more users into DeFi, because to bring people into crypto, we need to bring crypto into the way that people already operate. So
yeah, interesting. That'll also be interesting to see how that plays out, how voice control, if and how it'll end up bringing on more people. What is the Orion NFT aggregator?
So the reason we say we want to be a global gateway to the digital asset market instead of just crypto is because we want to solve the fragmentation of not just crypto, but NFT marketplaces and assets from traditional finance by eventually aggregating them into one place. So obviously the NFT space is arguably even more fragmented than the wider crypto landscape. So we are building the industry's first NFT aggregator, which will essentially aggregate all major NFT marketplaces into Orion Terminal. So NFT marketplaces will funnel their assets to the Orion network, and this will drive accessibility, liquidity, and volume to their assets and platform, and will enable us to create one singular portal to the NFT market. So typically most marketplaces take only BTC and ETH, although this is changing. But on Orion Terminal, traders will be able to swap any available token for an NFT via complex swap. So we are building and launching this with Cardano on the Cardano blockchain, and we'll continue to integrate other chains as they come on board as well.
Cool. That's something I'm excited for, because that's something I'm always wishing for every time I go out and do research on NFTs. Like, well, I wish there was one platform where I could see everything and then I can decide what I want. So that should be exciting.
Exactly.
So if Orion aggregates large liquidity volumes across the whole crypto market, for example, on centralized exchanges or decentralized exchanges, will it not be dangerous in terms of security should the Orion protocol be compromised?
Well, first, I will say that Orion is non-custodial. We never hold users' funds. Even if Orion went down tomorrow, knock on wood, the funds are accessible via Etherscan, BSCscan, etc. But obviously, because we aggregate and facilitate trading across exchanges, we are working with a number of decentralized insurance providers to cover users for hacks of connected exchanges, cover users for legal fees, phishing attacks, smart contract exploits, rug pulls, stablecoin depegging. So in the case that Orion Terminal users are trading on an exchange that is compromised, the exchange hack cover will protect users for their assets on those exchanges. So we've partnered with quite a few decentralized insurance providers for this and have coverage pools and things like that. But we've also partnered with a number of security firms too, because obviously we want to make sure that every single step within Orion Terminal is secure and safe. So we are regularly audited by Certic and other firms as well, and we have the second highest security rating on Certic. So looking for that #1 spot there.
Yeah, that's comforting. Does Orion have collaborations with financial institutions or private companies?
Yes, so this isn't something that we've really spoken about too much publicly yet, but there is a lot going on behind the scenes here. Obviously, this is a slower process. The chasm between crypto and traditional finance is still really large. And obviously, I think this is due to the fact that crypto, in part due to its infancy, in part due to its fundamentals, is relatively unregulated in comparison to traditional capital markets. So up until recently, obviously, traditional finance has been slow to capitalize, at least publicly, on crypto markets due to compliance and regulation. But there's such we're seeing that change, firstly, and I'm really happy to see it, because the value of the traditional capital market is in excess of $100 trillion, and the opportunity to unlock that massive latent pool of global liquidity and funnel it into DeFi presents enormous opportunities. So obviously compliance is key here, though. Obviously AML, KYC, and other regulations are at the center of any of these financial entities, obligations, and priorities, which is kind of the antithesis of DeFi. But working with several partners, we will provide private banks, wealth managers, and funds a single compliant and non-custodial point of access to the digital asset market. So clients will simply plug into Orion Protocol and connect to a cross-border regulatory compliance layer built by Alliance Block. And this manages all the pre-trade checks in their respective jurisdictions and essentially allows them to participate in DeFi in a simple, cost-effective and regulated way, and funnel much needed capital into the space. And as I said earlier, I think it's clear that a decentralized financial system a successful one at least, won't be measured by its ability to exist separately to centralized entities, traditional or otherwise, but one that really acts as an intermediary between the worlds that consumers know and the still relatively immature world of DeFi. So that was a long answer there.
No, excellent answer and very clear. And finally, when will the platform be complete?
Well, I would say this is a difficult question and somewhat of a political answer here, because I don't think our platform will ever truly be complete, in that we will never stop building. I think in such a rapidly developing space, new problems and solutions arise pretty much every day, as I'm sure you guys see, and we have to adapt accordingly. And this doesn't happen overnight, and obviously there's still so much in the works beyond what we've shared today and what we've communicated publicly. But that said, we're still so early into this space, and the opportunities that the next 3 to 5 years will bring are likely unfathomable for most of us. And for us to become a global gateway to the digital asset market, a universal aggregator, we need to evolve alongside the industry to bring as many of its benefits to users globally, and really that's our goal. So before then, though, the kind of next exciting steps for us is one, continuing to expand our current platform with new liquidity sources like crypto.com and others, improving the user experience for more seamless and frictionless trading to bring newcomers to our platform, launching Orion Bridge and further chain integrations to enable decentralized cross-chain trading, launching our B2C solutions like our NFT aggregator, stablecoin, margin trading, lending, then releasing our B2B solutions for exchanges and blockchains and crypto projects, obviously to drive significant volume, and then ultimately launching our mainnet staking program. So there's a lot coming up, a lot in the works. So
very exciting. Very cool. Well, Timothea, thank you so much for joining us today. You've been very generous with your time, and it's been a wonderful
thank you.
speaking with you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the community today?
Well, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. If you did want to learn any more about Orion, just check out our website. It's orionprotocol.io. We also have a great community over on Telegram and Twitter, so feel free to join us to find out more.
Great. And just a shout out to everybody who's watching. Drop your referral codes in the chat because we'll be picking out 10 random ones to win some of the ORN prize pool. And Timothea, where can people follow you, and where can they follow Orion online?
So you can follow me. It's at Timothea Horwell on Twitter. Orion is at Orion_protocol. And as I said, on Telegram, it's t.me/Orion Protocol. So.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thanks again to our audience for joining us today. If your questions were asked during the AMA, then you may have won a share of the ORN prize pool. If so, your prize will be deposited into your account within the next 30 days. You can follow Timothea again on Twitter, and to follow Crypto.com and stay informed about upcoming events and updates, keep an eye out on our Crypto.com Twitter, official Telegram channels, and our YouTube channel, where this AMA will remain viewable after today. And again, please drop your referral codes. We'll choose 10 random ones, and you'll also get a share in the ORN prize pool. Thanks again, Timothea, and thanks to our community for joining us.
I'll just drop in quickly, if you don't mind, and just let the community know that we will have a Crypto.com spotlight on Orion Terminal very soon. So this is one of our latest features on the terminal, where we highlight partners and projects with a whole day of content. So if you are interested in hearing more about the partnership that we announced today, please stay tuned for that. And you can also provide liquidity for the CRO USDT pool and earn ORN in farming rewards. So I'm excited for that.
Very excited.